Good evening to all the participants. We welcome you all to this session of School of Happiness. Today we have among us Dr. Anshika Agarwal as a resource person of the day. And the topic of this session is Theory of Multiple Intelligence. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shreya. Let's start with this journey of multiple intelligence. So, before starting with multiple intelligence, my very first question is, what is intelligence? What is intelligence? If I ask you, आप क्या कहेंगे कि intelligence stands for this?
Ma'am, right decisions.
Right decisions. Okay. Right decisions regarding what?
Ma'am, anything.
Anything. Okay. Shreya, you can also participate.
Ma'am, we have an answer from Merlin in the chat box.
Please.
Merlin said that intelligence is the ability of brain to learn something and act in a rational manner.
Very true. Ability of brain to learn something and act in a rational manner. Nice, Merlin. So basically, when we talk about intelligence, generally we have these ways to look at it. Sometimes we define it as an intellectual potential. Sometimes we define it like this is the person is born intelligent. We link the intelligence with the birth. Sometimes we say we can measure it like through IQ test and something else. Other techniques are there. Sometimes we represent it as the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Sometimes we say it is the ability to learn and understand. And at times we say it is the ability to deal with new or trying situations. So we look at intelligence from different perspectives. But my question is, can a person have more than one way of intelligence? What do you feel? The person, an individual, can have one or more way of intelligence?
Can I answer, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
As Merlin said, that ability to learn things and see things in a rational manner. So it definitely one can have more than one intelligence because we find that someone has the ability to learn music quickly while other go for dance quickly. So it's completely obvious that we can have more than one intelligence.
Very true, Shreya. Very well said. So here we come to the concept of multiple intelligence.
Ma'am, we
Like,
have an answer from Merlin also that it's giving the example of negative intelligence like theft or robbery.
yes, right. So coming towards the multiple intelligence now, Howard Gardner's defined, like said, there is not particular type of intelligence. There are 7 types of intelligence. And recently, there is the 8th intelligence which has been added. So in this session, I will be discussing the various type of intelligence. And at the end, we will discuss about it, how we can combine them or is there is a combination of them. So the very first comes is visual spatial intelligence. As the name says, visual, the individuals who are good at things, like some people are very good with the maps, some people are very good with narrating the pictures, some people are very good with explaining about the charts. So when the individual or the person is able to recognize patterns easily, then that sort of intelligence is known as visual spatial intelligence. It is very common with the architects and the engineers. Have you seen an architect working? What an architect do? What an architect do? You all can participate.
The basic work of an architect is to design houses and
Design houses or any
industry, school, any.
industries, schools, malls, or something. So they are dealing with various like pictures, charts, imaginations. For example, taking a house of an exam as an example, creating a blueprint of a house. इतने स्क्वायर फीट का कमरा होगा, यहाँ पे कमरे होंगे, यहाँ पे वॉशरूम्स होंगे, दिस विल बी द लिविंग एरिया, दिस विल बी द गार्डन एरिया, पार्किंग एरिया यहाँ पे बनेगा, किचन यहाँ पे होगा, फ्लोरिंग ऐसे होगी. Every dimension need to be visualized before the blueprint is to be created. I guess there is a something from the Merlin as well. They visualize things and then share it with people. Very true. So, is this is an intelligence or not? क्या ये intelligence है?
Surely, ma'am, because not
Yes.
everyone is good at it.
Yes. So there are people who are very good in visualizing things, and it is a form of intelligence. Okay. We will come to you, Marlin. For this, you are using your creative side of the brain. Yes, you have to use. Then only you can visualize something you have not seen. You are creating it. Something you have to define it. You are visualizing the things up. Engineers do this. For example, creating a dam is not an easy task. Metro structure is not an easy task. In Delhi, we have metros. Like metro rail is, we have, it is going from underground, it is going, we have bridges, we have like, it is everywhere. So having visual spatial intelligence lead to getting with directions, interpreting pictures, graphs, recognizing patterns easily. So this is one form of intelligence. The second comes is linguistic verbal intelligence. The people who are good with and who have the ability to use words well, both writing as well as speaking. Have you read the storybooks? Have you read the novels? Have you seen those things? Have you read them? चंद्रकांता जी आप भी पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं.
यस मैम, हम लोग पढ़ते हैं स्टोरीज और पोएम्स, वहां पे हमें ये कॉम्बिनेशन देखने को मिलता है कि हम अपने वर्ड्स के साथ हाउ कैन वी प्ले विद द वर्ड्स और ब्यूटीफुल लाइंस वी कैन क्रिएट, या अपने हम सेंटेंसेस को कैसे हम एक स्टोरी इंटरेस्टिंग तरीके से हम प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं.
हम सबने हैरी पॉटर देखी है सीरीज मूवीज में. इट इज बेस्ड ऑन हैरी पॉटर की बुक की सीरीज है. Have you imagined how much like the author went on imagining the things and putting them into words so that the people who are reading it can see it, can feel it, can visualize it? The power of words. How I know the Harry Potter? Through that book only. How I know the magic of Harry Potter? Through that book only. So there are people who are very good, have the ability to write and speak, to use the words very well. When we were kids, we have seen there were some students in our circle who are very good with the tongue twisters and the rhymes, and others were just not. I guess we have seen that. So what is basically is there? Those people possess this linguistic and verbal intelligence. Others might have some other sort of intelligence. So when we talk about journalists, we talk about writers. They are at times when we are reading newspapers regularly, when we are reading the stuffs, we develop some sort of preferences for our journalists and writers, as we develop preferences for the actors and actresses, because we started liking the way they write, the usage of words they are doing. So basically, those people are possessing the linguistic and verbal intelligence. I give a small example. Have you ever seen a play, like street plays or stage plays or theaters or anything that sort?
Yes, ma'am.
कभी किसी मूवी का कोई डायलॉग याद रह गया?
रह जाते हैं, बहुत सारे याद रह जाते हैं.
वो क्यों रह जाते हैं? Because they have been written in that way that creates an impact. So that person possesses the linguistic and verbal intelligence. Moving further, the third form, or like the third type of intelligence we talk about is logical and mathematical intelligence. So if I ask you, were you good at maths? Do you like maths? What will be your reply to me?
मैम बिल्कुल भी नहीं.
Okay. Others can also participate.
Good, but not good.
Not good. Okay. Valin is saying was good till 10th. After that, with the emoji. Okay. But in a classroom, as teachers, we have seen our students. As students, we have seen our batchmates. There were some students in the classroom who are very good with the maths and logical answering and solving the complex computations and all. Is it true or not?
Yes, ma'am. True.
The only reason, there might be other reasons as well, the prominent reason is those individuals are having the logical and mathematical intelligence. They are
Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Since when it was on mute?
बस अभी ही हुआ था. हाँ.
Okay, so what I was saying, there are people who are good with solving the complex computations, who are good in making relationships about numbers and patterns, and logically analyzing the problems. So reason being they are so good with it because those people possesses logical and mathematical intelligence. To be good at reasoning, to recognize the patterns, to logically analyze the problems, to think conceptually about numbers, relationships, and patterns. So, like a computer programmer, have you ever seen the mammoth task a computer programmer do? A scientist do? So, this is the third form of intelligence we'll talk about, which is logical mathematical intelligence.
Ma'am, we can have the example of Ramanujan and Shakuntala Devi also.
Yes, we can have that. They were very good. For Ramanujan, it is very popular. He knew infinity.
News infinity. And for Shakuntala Devi, the
Like n number of calculations she can do, like in a bricks of this. So yeah, those people possesses logical and mathematical intelligence. Are great scientists. Many scientists possesses this, particularly in the field of science, who were in the pure science. So this is about my third form of intelligence, which is logical and mathematical intelligence. So we have covered three till now: visual, spatial intelligence. I like to give one more example for this. Have you seen a blind person? How the person visualizes the road, the things through this intelligence.
मैम उनके इमेजिन वो लोग शायद मेजर करते रहते हैं या कुछ इमेजिन करते रहते हैं.
Very true, ma'am. Ma'am, but measure करके, imagine करके, visualize करना
not easy.
is an intelligence, ma'am. Just imagine you are walking on a street, blindfolded, given a stick to walk, and you have to walk. So, is it easy, or you have to visualize something to walk? Ma'am, you can reply. They use the power of their ears. Very true. So ultimately, they are using the sort of some intelligence to get to know to walk straight. To know this is, we have to take a right and left. So it is not about having to look at the things. It is about intelligence. This is what I'm trying to say here. Intelligence here is not about looking at the things. Intelligence here is about visualizing the things. And it doesn't matter how you visualize, how you recognize the patterns. I hope this is clear. Can I move further? Next, we talked about linguistic and verbal intelligence, where we talk about the power of words, both writing and speaking. The third, we talk about the numbers, computations, logical reasoning. And the fourth is bodily kinesthetic intelligence, like something good at body movements, performing actions, physical control, excellent eye and hand coordination are there. If I don't give an example, can you suggest me few?
We have example from Merlin karate.
Karate, very good.
All the
Taekwondo,
class,
very
all the
good.
classical dance forms. Obviously.
Classical dance forms, very good. So what these things do? We have an expression for them. We have a hand movement for them. Martial arts, very rightly said. There need to be a coordination between them. Some people say, हमें डांस नहीं आता. I cannot dance. मैं dancer नहीं. Basically, dance needs bodily movements. Eye and hand coordination is there. Sports is one of the forms. This type of intelligence also involves like creating things with own hands. कभी मूर्तिकार को देखा है? वो कैसे एक एक मूर्ति को तराशता है अपने हाथों से. कभी किसी प्ले के लिए हम स्कूल में आपने देखा होगा, प्रॉप्स तैयार किए जाते हैं, ड्रेसेस तैयार की जाती हैं. and there are people involved in it. वो कितने प्यार से props को design कर रहे होते हैं. These are all the examples of bodily and kinesthetic intelligence. Yes, true, Merlin. So when we talk about bodily and kinesthetic intelligence, we are talking about remember by doing rather than hearing or seeing. जब हम कुछ करके सीखते हैं, for example, let's take the example of martial arts. क्या मुझे मार्शल आर्ट्स देख के मैं सीख जाऊंगी या प्रैक्टिस करके सीखूंगी? कैसे सीखूंगी मैं मार्शल आर्ट्स? बताओ.
And by doing, practicing.
By doing things. So dancers, sculptors, martial artists, these all possesses bodily and kinesthetic intelligence. We have one more. Observe and then practice. Very true. So this is my fourth form of intelligence we talk about, which is bodily and kinesthetic intelligence. The next is musical intelligence. There are people who can differentiate between the sounds of 2 or 3 musical instruments together, who can say these are different rhythms, they are different sounds. When we talk about Saregama, the whole everything, and we have, like in India particularly, we have gharanas for that. We have different gharanas who play different type of music and very popularly known. What those people are doing basically, they possesses musical intelligence. Sometimes we talk about classical music, sometimes we talk about hip hop, sometimes we talk about rap music, sometimes we talk about melodies. We have different sorts of music. But have you ever thought how these musics are composed? We talk about A.R. Rahman. We talk about Asha ji, Lata ji. We talk about many legendaries. But have we ever thought about how this music is composed? How it has been decided which instruments to be used? Where the note should be high and where the note should be low? Have you ever given a thought about it?
And that too gets perfect by practice.
That too gets perfect by practice, no doubt. But can I and you can create that? Yes, if we possesses this musical intelligence, we can create that. Rigorous hard work, very true. Malin said rigorous hard work. There is no substitute to hard work, and hard work never goes waste, right? But for a person who's like who don't possess this musical intelligence, it's a bit difficult to recognize the rhythms, to recognize the sounds. Have you ever went for like bird watching and in the jungles, and people say some sound is there, that people immediately say this voices of this word, this voices of this word, this voices of an animal. So what is this going on? Like Everyone cannot recognize it. So this is like about your musical intelligence we talk about. Like musical composition is there, musical performance is there. So people have strong musical patterns and tones easily. Basically, people can recognize musical patterns and tones easily. Clear? Our singers are there, musicians are there. I'd like to take one more example. As a kid, although it was not, I don't have this musical intelligence, but as a kid, when I have to remember the formulas or some codes or something, I have to write the data. I make some sort of patterns or make a rhythm out of it. And I try to remember it in the exam. Have we followed that? Have anyone of ever tried that?
Yes, ma'am, surely.
So this is another form of intelligence we talk about, which is musical intelligence.
Ma'am, we have something from Merlin that I learned chapters of the Bible in that way.
Yeah. So here, this is what I'm talking about, multiple intelligence. See what I said. I feel I'm not having this musical intelligence, but I create patterns and give some sort of rhythms, rhyme to it to remember it. So basically, I applied three form of intelligence here. Musical intelligence. What are the other two I have applied? Logical and mathematical intelligence. And also I'm writing something to remember, which is linguistic and verbal intelligence. So I'm mixing the three here. So moving towards the next, which is about, after musical, interpersonal intelligence. In our families, we have seen, or in our organizations, we have seen, एक कोई पर्सन होता है जिसकी सबसे बनती है, या एक कोई पर्सन होता है जिसकी हर कोई सुन लेता है. Is it true or not? So basically, those people are possessing interpersonal intelligence, which means those people are good to understand the other person's different perspectives, and they know how to interact with other people. They assess the emotions, motivations, desires, and intentions of people around them. They have the ability to communicate well verbally, and at the same time they create positive relationship with others. कभी देखा है, कभी कुछ झगड़े हो जाए, कुछ हो जाए, या कुछ आर्ग्यूमेंट्स हो जाए, किसी एक पर्सन एक ऐसा होता है, जनरली सीनियर होते हैं, वो बड़े होते हैं, उनको बुलाया जाता है कि भैया कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजॉल्व करवा दो. सो दिस is nothing but interpersonal intelligence. Merlin is saying they are neutral and maintain peace in their families and between their friends too. Very true. How they're maintaining that? If I ask you to do that, can you do that? Just be honest. अगर मैं आपको बोलूं आप करिए काम, क्या आप कर पाएंगे, या क्या आप करते हैं? No reply. So सबके बस की बात नहीं है कि सबसे खुद को काम रखना, सबको सॉर्ट आउट करके रखना, सबके साथ मिलजुल के चलना। कभी कभी हम कहते हैं उस पर्सन ने ना बहुत अच्छी सी सहन शक्ति है, सबसे वो उसकी घुल मिल जाता है, या उसको सब पसंद करते हैं। अरे क्यों पसंद करते हैं, कभी सोचे है? Because that person has interpersonal intelligence. The persons create positive relationship with others. So this is about like a psychologist, a counselor. These people possess interpersonal intelligence to understand. किसी आप काउंसलर के पास गए हो, काउंसलर ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड योर पर्सपेक्टिव एज वेल. Moving further, the next sort of intelligence is intrapersonal intelligence. Does anyone knows the meaning intrapersonal? क्या होता है intrapersonal?
Within self.
बिल्कुल सही कहा श्रेया आपने, विद इन सेल्फ. अभी हम बात कर रहे थे दूसरों के साथ, अब हम आ गए हैं अपने अंदर. क्या मैं खुद को समझती हूँ? क्या मैं सेल्फ अवेयर हूँ? क्या मुझे पता है मेरी फीलिंग्स के बारे में, मेरे इमोशनल स्टेट्स के बारे में, मेरी स्ट्रेंथ्स के बारे में, मेरी वीकनेसेस के बारे में? क्या मुझे पता है मैं क्या चाहती हूँ? Knowing yourself is also very important. And the people who knows, they tend to enjoy self-reflection and analysis, whether it is daydreaming, exploring relationships with others, personal strengths. All this is a part of intrapersonal intelligence. For example, a philosopher, a scientist knows what the person is trying to do. We have area specified, like जब तक हम प्राइमरी क्लासेस में होते हैं हम एक जनरल साइंस पढ़ते हैं, फिर हमारे साइंस के 3 पार्ट कर दिए जाते हैं, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, बायोलॉजी. हम 11-12 में जाते हैं, हमें ऑप्शन दे दिया जाता है आपको साइंस पढ़नी है या नहीं पढ़नी. और साइंस पढ़नी है तो आप क्या पढ़ना चाहते हो, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, बायो तीनों पढ़ना चाहते हो या कुछ पर्टिकुलर पढ़ना चाहते हो. कॉलेज में जाते हैं और स्पेसिफिक फील्ड्स आ जाती है, मेडिकल, इंजीनियर. लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ इंजीनियर. इंजीनियरिंग में फर्दर डिवीजन हो जाती है, मैकेनिकल, सिविल, कंप्यूटर एंड सो मेनी. सो मुझे बनना था कंप्यूटर इंजीनियर, मैंने चूज कर लिया सिविल इंजीनियरिंग. कैसा रहेगा? इंजीनियर बनना था जी. सो here the question arises, मुझे अवेयर नहीं थी मैं अपने बारे में, because different engineers need different skills.
Ma'am, we have a very nice comment from Merlin that is why interviewers ask about yourself, your strength and your weakness to check your intrapersonal intelligence.
Exactly. And what we generally answer to the interviewer, my name is this, I have studied from this, I'm pursuing this. The interviewer already knows that on a sheet of paper in front of him or her. आपने अपना CV दिया होता है ना, उसमें सब लिखा होता है. Tell the interviewer what is not written on that paper. And there's one more reply from her which says they look into their inner self and understand themselves well. Very nice. खुद को जानना भी बहुत जरूरी है. एंड जो खुद को जान लेता है या जान पाता है, द पर्सन इज हैविंग अ इंट्रापर्सनल इंटेलिजेंस. आप खुद ही सेल्फ अवेयर नहीं होगे तो आप औरों को कैसे खुश रख पाओगे जब आप खुद ही खुश नहीं हो. And the recently added, this is about my 7 intelligence we talked about. The recently added intelligence is naturalistic intelligence. Here we talk about the person who spends more time with the nature and then more tuned with the nature. The person is more interested in nurturing, exploring the environment, learning about other species. There are people who love hiking. There are people who love to go on exploring the forest. There are people who love to explore flora and fauna. There are people, even in a small house, they try to create a garden because those people possesses this and they like that. Such people are also very good in categorizing and catalog information easily. Generally, they like exploring the outdoors. And generally, such people also dislike learning unfamiliar topics, uh, particularly those topics which have no connection with nature, like a gardener and a farmer are examples who possesses naturalistic intelligence. So this is a fourth form of intelligence. Now the question arises, what is has all to do with the multiple intelligence? I've just told you about 8 intelligences. What is multiple intelligence? What is your dominant intelligence? If I ask, I'm just stopping the this video for a second, and let's discuss what sort of what is your dominant intelligence. If I ask you, you all please participate. सुजाता जी, आपकी डोमिनेंट इंटेलिजेंस क्या है? इफ आई आस्क यू, या चंद्रकांता जी, मलिन, मुरुगम, आप सबकी क्या है? लाइक व्हाट यू फील द इंटेलिजेंस you possess? Marlin is saying intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligence. Good, Marlin. Any other? Shreya, what is your dominant intelligence?
I would name 3 interpersonal, and body and kinetic intelligence.
Body and kinetic. Okay. Anyone else like to participate? Sujata ji, Chandrakanta ji. Murugan is also there.
If you can't speak or something, is there any sort of problem with your audio, you can write in the chat box also.
Yes, please write in the chat box. Even if you are not aware, you can simply say, ma'am, we will explore now. We will understand now. That's fine.
That's the purpose of the session, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So the basic crux is, it is not necessary the person is having only one sort of intelligence. As Gardner said, people may possess 2 or even 3 as dominant intelligence, or maybe a balance of all 7 is there. and that's why the name is there, multiple intelligence.
मैम किसी में ये सभी भी हो सकती हैं, इसका मतलब?
हाँ बिल्कुल हो सकती हैं
जी.
For example, sometimes we visualize, sometimes we write, sometimes we sing, and we create some melodies around us. Sometimes we are like okay, एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल लेती हूँ. सुजाता दी, आप कुकिंग करते हैं?
जी
आप नई नई डिशेस बनाते हैं?
बिल्कुल मैम.
तो आप सब कुछ तो कर रहे हैं. उस नई डिश को बनाने के लिए पहले आपने विजुअलाइज किया, अरे मैं ये इंग्रेडिएंट्स करके ये बना सकती हूँ.
जी.
ठीक है, आपने फिर उसको बनाया, अपने हाथों से बनाया, फिर सबको खिलाया, खुद भी तो सेल्फ अवेयर हुए ना.
बिल्कुल.
आपने फिर उसको सबको खिलाया, और फिर पसंद आया नहीं पसंद आया तो डिफरेंट थिंग. अगर आपने उसमें कुछ चेंजेस भी किए, आपने कैलकुलेट किया कि नहीं नहीं ये कमी रह गई थी, इसको मैं ऐसे कर सकती थी, थोड़ा सा नमक यहाँ पे डाल सकती थी, या थोड़ा सा मसाला ये वाला ऐड कर सकती थी. करते नहीं करते हम लोग?
बिल्कुल मैम बिल्कुल.
फिर हमने उसकी रेसिपी भी लिखी.
जी मैम.
सो इंटेलिजेंस इज नॉट समथिंग डूइंग बिग ओनली. अपने आसपास हम बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजों में इंटेलिजेंस यूज करते हैं.
बिल्कुल मैम.
आप एक घर सजाते हैं, आप अपना घर संभालते हैं. लेट्स टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ योर रूम. क्या आप अपने रूम की सेटिंग्स करते हैं?
बिल्कुल.
उस कमरे को सजाया है आपने?
बिल्कुल मैम. हर कोई कोशिश करता है कि वो कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा चेंजमेंट करे जिससे उसे जो है एक अलग सा फील आए, और हर कोई करता है ये अपने घर में.
तो पहले आप विजुअलाइज करते हैं ना, इस दीवार पे ये पेंटिंग अच्छी लगेगी, या ये कलर का मुझे पेंट करवाना है. मेरे बेड्स के साइड में ये चीजें होनी चाहिए, या मेरी जो बुक शेल्फ है, बुक शेल्फ पे मैं इंडोर प्लांट्स भी लगा सकती हूँ. Okay, Marlene. I read your Marlene, but it's okay. I can. Maybe we can choose.
I think, ma'am, I would like to say one thing, that they are the perfect example. They can be the perfect example of having balance of all the intelligence.
Exactly. I'm just giving an example from our daily life. I'm just trying to do that because when we read from a broader perspectives. But doing deep learning, going into the details, narrow down the things is what the purpose of is. To feel good about this. कि हाँ मुझ में भी कुछ है, मैं खुद को समझूंगी तभी तो मैं आगे बढ़ पाऊंगी कि मैं क्या चाहती हूँ, मैं क्या करना है मुझे. So another example is take as teachers. As teachers, we are dealing with our class, right? At times our subjects also change. Sometimes we get practical subjects, sometimes we get theory papers, sometimes we get a combination of them. होता है या नहीं होता ऐसा? Or sometimes our papers are fixed, depending upon. So, but our students are changing every semester. एक बैच पास होता है, दूसरा बैच आता है, दूसरा बैच पास होता है, तीसरा बैच आता है. इररिस्पेक्टिव हमारे पेपर सेम है या नहीं, हमारे बच्चे चेंज होते हैं. क्या कभी भी कोई एक बैच, दूसरा बैच, तीसरा बैच ये सारे सेम निकले, और दे हैव अ मिक्स ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स इन द क्लास? बताइए कैसा रहता है? मिक्स ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं या फिर पर्टिकुलर स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं?
Obviously, mix of students.
मिक्स ऑफ स्टूडेंट इज देयर. क्या फर्स्ट बैच सेकंड बैच के स्टूडेंट्स अलग अलग होते हैं?
Surely, ma'am.
So ultimately, this shows people possesses different intelligence. क्योंकि उनकी इंटेलिजेंस डिफरेंट है तभी तो वो डिफरेंट है. Now coming back to my presentation. Interpersonal, I like to take an example of Mahatma Gandhi ji. Intrapersonal is again like Socrates. So next is Harvard. The person can have more than one intelligence as a dominant intelligence, or maybe a balance of all intelligences. This provides the opportunities for authentic learning based on individual needs and talents. Students become more active, involved learners. Students will be able to demonstrate and share their strengths. To build strengths gives a student the motivation to be a specialist, and this can lead to increased self-esteem. And when you teach for understanding, the students accumulate positive educational experiences and they develop the capabilities to find the solutions of different problems in life. Yes, you can say that, right, Merlin? So some of my views, which I feel and I believe, the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. The second thought, I believe, and intelligent thoughts have already been thought. But what is necessary is only to try to think them again.
Very thoughtful, ma'am.
Thank you, Shreya. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Or you can say the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देती हूँ. कोरोना आया, हम में से कोई प्रिपेयर नहीं था. थिंग्स फ्लिप हो गई. आज की डेट में अगर मैं बोलूं 2019 दिसंबर में ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लेनी है, कितनी पॉपुलर थी या कितने अवेयर थे. आज के टाइम पे हम एसओएच की ही क्लास ले रहे हैं ऑनलाइन मोड में. We are not just taking regular classes, we are learning and exploring beyond our boundaries. We are sitting in different parts of India and learning together. So we have adapted the change and we are trying to make the best out of it. Every day is a new day. And the key to being happy is knowing you have the power to choose what to accept and what to let go. Lastly, thank you.